Sometimes interviewers go way too far with their questions, leaving celebrities no choice but to call them out. Like that time, Scarlet Johansson totally shut down a rude interviewer who had the nerve to ask if she wore underwear while filming The Avengers.
Now, were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asking
well, no,
that to
because
me. What is going on? Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?
After getting pushback from the interviewer, Scarlett Johansson didn't hold back. She doubled down, clearly showing just how frustrated she was with the ridiculous questions.
Is it inappropriate?
To ask somebody what kind of underpants they wear?
I didn't ask you what kind.
You just asked me if I was wearing any. Was I wearing underwear? I mean, gosh, ask Joss.
This next clip is even more awkward as a local news anchor embarrassingly mixes up Samuel L. Jackson with another black actor.
Super Bowl commercial. Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, you know what? My mistake.
See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Flavia, you're exactly
We may be
right.
all black and famous.
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
You're busted.
In what has to be one of the most disgusting interview questions ever, adult film actress Tasha Rain was hit with an incredibly inappropriate question by the unbearable Southside Steve.
All right, and if we could stop for a second, I want to say to you, you have a very cute, soft, like a girly voice.
Thank you.
A lot of people say the reason people have girly voices is something bad happened to them at that age. Were you at an early age or were you fine?
That's the creepiest question I've ever heard, and no, but it's so inappropriate, it's not even funny.
Well, I had a girlfriend once that talked like that, and it turned out 6 years old. It was horrible.
Ew, I don't want to talk about this.
In another awkward moment, the interviewer made boxing legend Mike Tyson furious by suddenly bringing up his criminal record.
We know you're a convicted. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that? Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that. You know, because it's negative and you're being negative.
Despite the interviewer's efforts to change the topic quickly, it was too late. Tyson was clearly furious and ended up having a heated outburst on live TV.
Thinking you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of
Hey,
with that comment.
Come on.
No, that was a piece of That was a piece of
You know, we're doing live TV.
Man, I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
Even Tyson's manager couldn't calm things down as the boxer kept going with his intense rant.
Is it nerve-wracking for you to do something like this, or is it more nervous for you to box? How does it compare?
I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear us talking to a rat piece of shit like you.
Come on, Mike.
No, because you're a piece of shit.
All right,
You really have to
we're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming in.
Similarly, Hollywood superstar Tom Cruise lost his cool with an interviewer who pulled a prank on him during a red carpet interview.
Yes. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Come here. Why would you do that? What's so funny about that? It's ridiculous. Do you like making less of people? Is that it?
Tom Cruise, determined to confront the reporter, made it clear to his team that he wouldn't leave until he told the prankster exactly what he thought.
That's really. Hey, no. Don't run away. Don't run away. No, let me have it on. I don't care. That's incredibly rude. I'm here giving you an interview and answering your questions, and you do something really nasty. You're a jerk.
Another painfully awkward moment happened when Romina Puga asked Jesse Eisenberg to perform a magic trick during an interview.
Do you know the comedian Carrot Top?
Yes, horrible.
Well, you were like the Carrot Top of interviewers. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, and it's a good thing. It's
I'm
a
gonna
good
go
thing.
cry now.
No, don't cry now. Cry after the interview's over, because otherwise I'll look like I'm responsible for it. Okay, so.
Well, you are.
Well, I don't want to know that though.
Okay,
well,
so you know now. A magic trick.
Okay. All right.
So we can wrap this up.
Hey, you're on my time.
While comedian Bill Burr faced a disrespectful interviewer suggesting his jokes might be offensive, he fired back with his signature humor.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord. We did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
Burr could not hide his frustration when interviewers at an Atlanta radio station treated him with disrespect and acted unprofessionally.
And this is Bill Burr.
That's your question?
Burr's frustration kept building as the sloppy interview went on, especially when the host had the nerve to ask him to perform like a trained monkey.
He's at the punchline. He's in town, and you're a funny guy. You've got these routines in your head, so I figure I'll toss you a mic and you go.
And I'm going to do stand up in front of 9 people in a radio station? No, I'm not doing that.
Burr's frustration was written all over his face when another host jumped in, suggesting that he was to blame for how poorly the interview was going.
I was trying to explain to Bill how you put the mic, warn him that you're going to put the mic in his face without asking him a question. Be prepared for that. Apparently he didn't take me seriously.
But when host Southside Steve started shoving his microphone in Burr's face to mess with him, the comedian decided to take control and turn the interview around.
Do you like my mic?
No, I don't. I don't. Please.
Is that comfortable? Is this uncomfortable?
This is, yeah, no, don't, man. Honestly. Can I take the mic?
Sure.
Now, that's the number one thing you don't do. As I learned that in broadcasting school, you never give up the microphone. See, now I have the power.
In another fiery exchange, actor Mel Gibson lost it on interviewer Dean Richards when Richards unexpectedly brought up some of Gibson's past controversies.
Do you think that the public will perceive you any differently after all that's been in the news about you?
What are you referring to specifically?
Referring to the, the drinking problems, referring to what's been called the anti-Semitic rant, referring all those things. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so that's almost 4 years ago, dude. I mean, I've moved on. I guess you haven't.
Despite Gibson's obvious frustration, Richards kept pushing, leading to an intense stare down with the actor.
I'm just wondering if you think that the public has moved on and will perceive you in the same light.
Well, I certainly hope so. You know, it is a while back, and I've done all the necessary mea culpas. So, let's move on, dude. Come on.
The interview didn't last much longer as Gibson let his temper take over, even dropping some expletives as the segment ended.
Edge of Darkness opens today. It's good to see you back in the saddle and doing what you do best. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Krishnan has a habit of provoking strong reactions from his guests. Just take a look at what happened when he sat down with film director Quentin Tarantino.
But why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Okay. Well, no, I was just asking you why. That's fine.
A clearly frustrated Tarantino bluntly explained why he was annoyed, while Krishnan kept stumbling over his words.
No, but you haven't fleshed it out. That's the only reason.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
And that's entirely your
This is a commercial from my movie.
But you haven't said why you think there's no relationship.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that.
Well, it's my job to ask you why you think
that.
And
because
you're very influential.
No. And I'm shutting you down.
As Krishnan pushed further, Tarantino broke the fourth wall and passionately criticized the media in epic fashion.
And I have explained even what you're talking about. I'm just not giving it to you.
Why?
Because I don't want to, because I've done it already. I have explained this many times in the last 20 years. I just refuse to repeat myself over and over again because you want me to. For you and your show and your ratings.
Okay, well, no, it's not about our ratings.
No, it is. It is about you want me to say it for you. For your show, this show, right here, right now.
But in another awkward moment, an interviewer looked visibly nervous while asking Robert Downey Jr. an inappropriate question.
Yeah, well, okay, well then let me just ask you a few more questions and you can answer them if you want to and not if you don't want to. I mean, well, I think we've got 3 more minutes on our agreement.
Your foot's starting to jump a little bit. You better get to your next question.
Although Robert Downey Jr. was clearly annoyed, interviewer Krishnan Guru Murthy kept pushing and eventually crossed the line by bringing up his tough relationship with his father.
The reason I'm asking about the past is that you've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in, the dark periods you entered and taking drugs and drinking and all of that. And I just wondered whether, you think you're free of all of that, or whether that's still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Downey was caught off guard by the personal question and decided to walk out of the interview.
You seem okay. It's just getting a little dinosaur in your.
No, look, I don't want to do that.
Thank you. This next interview took a wild turn when Will Smith lost his cool after a reporter tried to kiss him.
Oh my God!
This next interview with Dylan McDermott took an awkward turn when comedian Jim Norton unexpectedly brought up the tragic murder of McDermott's mother.
So your mom, I know your mom was killed, right? But did they?
There you go. That's what I'm getting to.
McDermott tried to stay polite, but as the host kept joking about his mother's death, it was clear he didn't find their remarks funny at all.
Was it something that was ruled accidental and then declared a murder?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to get into that now. I'm just talking about LA to Vegas, but
okay.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. And,
what night is that on?
It's on Tuesdays at 9.
It's on Tuesdays at 9. It's not the death slot. Hey, speaking of death, what time? LA to Vegas, I love it.
Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, the host went on to offer McDermott a shot of whiskey, even though it's well known he's a recovering alcoholic.
He explained to me, how it all works, and whoa.
No, he's.
He actually. Oh, that's right. You're in recovery. You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
In another awkward moment, actor Billy Bob Thornton had a well-known passive-aggressive outburst on Canada's Q radio show while promoting his band, the Boxmasters. Hoping to be seen as a serious musician, Thornton got upset when the host ignored his request to avoid talking about his Hollywood career.
Are you reacting to the fact that I said?
Yeah, I am. Since you're instructed not to talk about shit like that, yeah, I am reacting to that. Yeah.
Because I mentioned that you were an actor and a
well,
screenwriter?
first of all, that wasn't supposed to be mentioned either.
You would prefer me to only do this interview not mentioning at all, and just to clarify,
that's correct,
at all that you've ever done anything in terms of acting, screenwriting.
That's correct.
This next interview got off to a tense start when interviewer Bob Costas began his chat with WWE founder Vince McMahon by pointing out the failures of the XFL, a football league McMahon launched that folded within a year.
Here now, Vince McMahon. Thanks for coming, Vince. Can you guarantee me right now that there will be a year 2 for the XFL?
What a ridiculous statement.
It's not a statement, it's a question.
It's a question. I beg your pardon. It's a question. No.
The conversation got even more intense as the interview went on, with McMahon looking like he was ready to hit Costas over the head with a steel chair.
If this turns out to be a grand-scale failure...
You want to let me finish here for a second, pal? Shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer. You got a situation that you don't know what you're talking about.
And speaking of heated confrontations, radio host Jim Rome intentionally tried to provoke NFL quarterback Jim Everett by repeatedly calling him Chris, a jab referencing female tennis legend Chris Evert.
Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well,
Rome had been teasing Everett on air for months, but now that they were face-to-face, Everett told him to knock it off.
Somewhere along the way, Jim, you ceased being Jim and you became Chris.
Well, let me tell you a little secret. That, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time...
I already did it twice.
If you call it one more time, we better take a station break.
Well, it's a 5-minute segment, or 5-segment show. We got a long way to go.
Rome seemed overly confident, maybe thinking his camera crew would protect him from Everett, but he quickly found out he was wrong.
Well, it's good to see you, too.
Because you've been talking like this behind my back for a long time.
But now I said it right here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we got no problems then.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
Out of nowhere, Everett lunges across the table at Rome, and the two end up wrestling on the floor before the station quickly cuts to a commercial break. And that's a wrap on some of the most unforgettable moments where celebrities handled awkward interviews. If you had fun watching, be sure to like, share your favorite moment in the comments, and hit subscribe for more. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you're the first to catch our next video.